Ibrahim. I work with AJ Farms. AJ Farms is a private, multifaceted agribusiness company. We are based in Tanzania, and of interest is that we are producing plantlets and other various seedlings. We have seedlings, passion fruit seedlings, we have pineapple seedlings, but most important here is that we produce banana seedlings through a process called macro propagation. We use a technology called macro propagation, and we use a detached corm method. This is a well detached corm with the right maturity. It's ready for being prepared to be used in the macro propagator. This is the corm size. You can see should not be very small. Should be adequate enough to maximize the number of buds or the number of plantlets you get. You need a very large, say, a corm. You are not supposed to use small corms. You are supposed to use a corm, and this is a corm from a plant that was about to shoot. Yes, it's almost 6 months old, or 6 to 7 months old. That just before it shoots, we detach it. We've just detached using these old gadgets here, you can see, and then we have a panga here and then a sharp knife. In this procedure, I'll take you through the desheathing, the comparing and the desheathing. These are very important steps before you go for sterilization of these corms and then planting them in a sawdust. But today I'll take you through only 2 steps. As you see, this is a corm. So first of all, I'll start by comparing to make sure I don't take any pests into my lab, into my micro propagator. And that I inspect the corm all around it to make sure there are no holes which may hide pests. And so I'll go I inspect for any debris around it. I remove it using my panga. Make sure I don't cut too deep, because this corm itself is a food reserve for these new young plants that will emerge. So I need to preserve the corm as well, because this is a food reserve for those new plants which will emerge in a macro propagator. So I make sure I don't cut too deep, but also I don't cut too shallow, because I need to make sure there are no pests, and most important here is the weevils. The big enemy in banana farming would be weevils and nematodes. So I make sure I go, and of course the viruses, the BXW and all that. So why do we produce seedlings through macro propagation? Because the natural method of getting the suckers from a banana field and directing to another field, it's like you are likely to introduce diseases to your own farm. So make sure you get the seedlings from a well established nursery. And we have the nurseries. We have the nurseries in Kagera. We are distributing the seedlings throughout Tanzania, and so we invite you to come to our nurseries and learn a lot. Quality is the key, so we maintain quality. All we need is to make sure when a farmer goes to farm, he can make money out of it. You know, farming is profitable, but all you need is to take care every single step. And one of the steps in farming is make sure you have the right seedlings from a reliable source. AJ Farms has all that. We have got you covered. So I'm done with comparing. I've removed all the debris around the corm to make sure, and I've inspected it, and I'm sure that there is no hole, no pest around it. However, this one will go into another step of sterilization. So how do I do the desheathing? The next step will be desheathing. We have to remove all these sheets. When I say sheet, I mean this one. So I'll have to remove these sheets around this comb to expose the buds. We need the buds because these buds will sprout into plantlets, and we're interested in getting plantlets. The more you get from one comb, the better. As of now, we used to get about 5 to 10 back in the days, but we have learned that we are using a knife. Maximum with in most cases, a knife was used, and then we have learned that by using a knife, we were injuring the buds. So we changed the method. You know, experience is the best teacher. We have learned over experience that you don't have to use a knife throughout. You can use a knife minimally, and make sure you use your hands to guide you through as you cut to remove the sheath. So here, I'll show you what do I mean by a bud. Can you come closer, please? And this is a bud. Wherever these sheets meet, wherever these sheets meet, they make a V. You see, this is a left lateral, and this is a right lateral sheet. They are just meeting here at this point. At this junction, there is a bud. You can say bud here. This is a bud, and this bud is what makes a plantlet after you plant in a macro propagator. So we are making sure that we don't cut, we don't injure this bud. How do I not injure the bud? And now look, so I use my knife. I have my knife here, my sharp knife here. You see, I have my knife here. See, I put my hands beneath the sheath. You can see my hands, all my fingers, yeah? My fingers under the sheath. And these fingers will guide me through so that I don't just cut bluntly into another sheath. Okay? So I cut right here. So I cut, you see, minimally. I'm just cutting minimally, superficially, not too deep. Okay, and then using my hands, the fingers, sorry, using my fingers, the fingers will guide me through, and make sure I cut my sheath to the lowest level, not right here. I need to expose all the buds. For maximum results, you need to expose the buds. So instead of cutting from here, I'll have to cut to its lowest level, its bottom. This sheath now goes up to this level. So I have to make sure I remove, when I remove it to its lowest level, I expose the buds. At the same time, I maintain the buds. I don't injure them. So I go here. My knife just touches, my knife just cuts superficially, not too deep. So here I go, all the way. You can see my fingers down here under the sheath, while my knife cuts superficially. So I go again. You can see another bud here. So I have my fingers under the sheath, going carefully, not too haste. Yes, you can see. You see, yeah, my fingers under there. And then I should be very careful. Right here, you can see another bud comes in. So if I was just using a knife blindly, I could have just injured this sprout, this bud. Because my fingers were here, if I was too rough, I could injure my fingers. Make sure you don't injure your own fingers, because your fingers are always underneath the sheath. So I cut it, you see, and at times I don't have to use a knife. I can just take it out like this, like this one. And then I'll go again here. I'll go again here. You see, I'm also demonstrating another step, same step. Try to make it stick into your mind. My fingers under the sheath as usual. Then my knife goes a little bit superficial here. And then I'll go again. I can use my fingers also to guide me, my knife to guide me a little bit far away from the bottom, right here. And then I put my fingers here again. So I cut here superficially, and I move my fingers down towards the bottom. And then I cut again. I continue cutting to its lowest level. Make sure this point is clear to you. So I go again, use my fingers, Yeah, yeah. Experience makes practice makes perfect. When you practice a lot, when you practice this procedure will just go in automation, but at first then you have to toil. So goes again here, my fingers here, please. You can see right here, you can see right here, bring the camera here, you can see right here another bird comes in here. You can see a bird here, yes, a bird here. So you see, wow, my bird is just as intact as it was, because I guided my cutting using my fingers under the sheath, and then I can detach this sheath using my hands. I don't have to use a knife most of the time. You see, I take it out. So I can continue the same way until all these sheets have been removed. It's easy for you to understand. Otherwise, you'll continue asking yourself questions. What is the essence of using a knife? Maybe the pros and cons. Using a knife vis-a-vis not using a knife, or using a knife minimally, as I've done here. Okay, they say, of course we have done it. There's a time when we used to use a knife all the way, but then these were the problems with using a knife. One, we are injuring the birds. Two, and then we are getting few plantlets at the end. Okay. The advantage is that we were using a knife, and then it was kind of a little bit short procedure compared to when you're using a knife, when you're using your fingers and using a knife to the sheath, and using a knife minimally, as I've just done here. Using a knife minimally. We use a knife, yes, but using a knife minimally while using your fingers to guide you. You might spend much more time, maybe 5 minutes more, compared to when you're using a knife alone. And the advantage is that you get many birds that remain intact at the end, and then at the end you'll get many plantlets per corm. And actually, the business is, we are interested in the number of plantlets per corm. Yes. Otherwise, it was good talking to you. It is again, it's Ibrahim from AG Farms, and in case it does make it clear, it's not clear to you yet, you can also call me for a video call. We can interact more on through +255 757 757 968. We're also on YouTube. You can also go and subscribe to our official YouTube channel by the name AG Farms. It was nice talking to you. See you.